This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 1163, How to Gamify Your Life to Quickly Accomplish Big Goals, Part 1 by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com, and I'm Justin Malik. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a great weekend if you're listening in real time, and welcome back or welcome for the first time. This is where I read to you every single day of the year to help you live a more meaningful life, covering personal development, productivity, and minimalism mostly from some of the best bloggers and authors you can find, with their permission, of course. Today's article is a bit longer than usual, so I'm breaking it up into 2 episodes. And with that, let's get right to part 1 and start optimizing your life. How to Gamify Your Life to Quickly Accomplish Big Goals, Part 1 by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com. Is your life a video game filled with challenging quests and new adventures, or has your life become somewhat stale? As most people get older, they lose their childhood sense of wonderment and openness. Most people stop growing and settle for reality as they see it. But life doesn't have to suck. Growth doesn't have to be slow. Your life can become like a game where you pursue greater obstacles, learn new skills, and have thrilling experiences. This article details a few strategies you can use to gamify your life. If you apply these strategies, you will quickly ascend to higher and higher levels. You'll continually become better and enjoy more of life. Compete with those way ahead of you. Quote, "It is the most closely allied forms, varieties of the same species and species of the same genus or of related genera, which from having nearly the same structure, constitution, and habits, generally come into the severest competition with each other." Charles Darwin. What Darwin is explaining is that all forms of life compete with those most closely related. In other words, you compete with those most similar to you. It would make less sense for a painter to compete with a rock climber. Rather, a rock climber advances her skills by competing with other rock climbers, generally of a similar skill level. In business terms, you compete with those in the same industry. And within that industry, the little guys and gals generally compete with the other little guys, while the big guys compete with the other big guys. Although this is the most obvious and widespread form of competition, it is misplaced for those seeking rapid growth for 2 reasons. Number 1, competing with those at your same level yields slow and minimal improvements. You're better off competing with people far advanced in your current level. In his book, The Art of Learning, An Inner Journey to Optimal Performance, Josh Waitzkin shares how he applied this principle to become world-class at Tai Chi. When given unsupervised practice time, Waitzkin observed that most others in his Tai Chi class would naturally practice with those at their same skill level, or slightly worse. This was done in many ways out of ego, because who wants to lose? It's more fun to beat someone when given the opportunity. Waitzkin took the opposite approach and applied a principle he termed investing in failure. He would purposefully practice with people far more skilled than he was. In so doing, he would get the kicked out of him over and over. However, this process compressed and quickened Waitzkin's skill development. He could experience firsthand the abilities of those often years ahead of him. The mirror neurons in his brain allowed him to quickly mimic, match, and counter his superior competitors. Thus, he progressed much faster than others in his class. This is the essence of baseball players swinging multiple bats before going at bat. When just one bat is in their hand, it feels much lighter. Similarly, endurance athletes train in higher elevations and harder terrains than the actual race, so that when the actual race occurs, they're over-prepared. Takeaway: rather than competing with people at your perceived skill level, compete with those who are where you want to be. Herein lies a fundamental decision-making difference between those who become successful and those who don't. Unsuccessful people make decisions based on current circumstances, while successful people make decisions based on where they desire to be. Number 2, the best only compete with themselves. In the book Tribal Leadership, Leveraging Natural Groups to Build a Thriving Organization, Dave Logan and his co-authors explain that most organizational cultures have high within competition. Put simply, in most organizations, the people within those organizations are competing with each other. There's backstabbing, sucking up, etc. to ascend the organization's ladder. In these organizations, each person is out for themselves. They're more focused on their own goals than the organization's goals. Logan calls these stage 3 organizational cultures. Far fewer organizations evolve beyond this egomania and develop a culture of collaboration within and competition without. Put simply, members within these organizations are fiercely committed to their organization and have made the organization's goals their own goals. Logan calls these stage 4 organizational cultures. Within these organizations, there is beautiful synergy. Rather than competing with their teammates, they are competing with other organizations. According to Logan's research, organizations with stage 4 cultures generally dominate organizations with stage 3 cultures. Very rarely an organization will transcend competition altogether, reflecting what Logan calls stage 5 organizational culture. These are groups of people who are doing things no one else is doing. In many ways, they've created their own genre or niche. Their only competition is themselves and wherever their imagination takes them. Takeaway: collaboration will yield far greater results than competition. Said best-selling author Jeff Goins, quote, "It's not who you know, it's who you help," end quote. Eventually, get to the point where you move beyond competition with others in order to create your most innovative and unique work. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled How to Gamify Your Life to Quickly Accomplish Big Goals by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com. That's it for today. Hope you're having a great weekend. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in tomorrow's show where we'll finish up this post and where your optimal life awaits.